Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Phil from Grounded Pursuit. If you haven't already, please subscribe so you get more of this content. But we're going to talk about 7 things that emotionally mature men do that boys never learn. Because I can't tell you the number of times I hear men talk about, never learned this. I'm trying to be a good husband. I'm trying to be a good father, but I was never taught. That's why we're going to dive into this. The most important thing that you can get is that there's a language of emotion. And before you click away, you gotta learn this or you're gonna suffer. Human beings have emotion. Human beings speak this language of connection. And if you don't get it, you're gonna miss everything. So there's content and then there's emotion. That's where the fights happen. When two people try to share emotion and they don't realize it. You gotta learn how to speak it. You gotta learn how to listen to it. For example, your wife says, hey, thanks for doing the laundry for once. Now you take that at face value. Obviously you've done it more than once. You can fight that. But there's an emotion message buried in there. It's I don't feel appreciated or I'm overwhelmed or something like that. The second one that's super important, not only you have to have an awareness that the emotions are happening, this language is happening, but you gotta learn how to decode it. You gotta learn how to name it. You gotta learn how to speak it. Imagine you're living in a foreign country and you don't know the language. It's terrible. I also give this example. Imagine you're hiking in the Grand Canyon and you get lost and you call the Forest Service and you say, help find me. And they're like, yeah, where are you at? And you say, I'm in the Grand Canyon. There's no way they're gonna find you in time before you die. And then you say, well, I'm by a tree, I'm by the river. That's not helpful. The most helpful thing you can do is you give them their longitude and latitude, your GPS coordinates. How much more so with emotion messages? If you don't even know how you're feeling, there's no way that anybody else is gonna figure that out for you. It's ultimately your responsibility. An emotionally healthy person, emotionally healthy man knows how he's feeling. He knows there's a language and he knows how to read it. The third thing that forms this foundational piece of emotional maturity is what you do when you're uncomfortable. Because some of these messages, some of these languages are unpleasant. I'm not going to say negative because that suggests they're bad or wrong for experiencing it, but they are unpleasant. Guilt, fear, sadness, hurt. It's not a pleasant thing. It's not a pleasant experience, but it is so real and so important. And so many of our problems arise when we don't know how to speak it, we miss the language, or we respond due to our discomfort. That's what gets us into trouble. So those 3 things are the core foundation of how to be emotionally mature. Number 4, problem with discomfort number 1 is you think compromising is the answer. You go, I don't really want to do this, but rather than risking discomfort, I'm going to go along with it. Feels good in the moment, gets you out of the moment. But what happens is you do that enough times and you've built up a new message, which is resentment. And that's a heck of a lot more unpleasant and uncomfortable and more difficult to express than in the moment if you just say, you know what, I don't really want to go see your parents this weekend. That's my honest truth. That's if you're asking me, I don't really want that. But the more times you stuff that down, you're going to build up resentment. Number 5 is another problem that you get into with discomfort of these emotion messages is you go, well, if she would just get me, if only she would understand me, then I would be okay. Then I would be fine. And to be fair, when somebody hears you, like a friend or in therapy, or they get you, or they just let you speak freely, it does feel good, no question. The problem is if you are dependent on that to feel better, to get out of your own discomfort, then you're living in immaturity. And that will always limit your growth. So you cannot be dependent on anyone else to validate your own experience. You have to do that for yourself. You have to face your own discomfort to go, yep, this is really hard, this is really difficult, and she's not able to get that right now, and that can be okay. Number 6, And this is the third problem with discomfort that I find is if you're so uncomfortable facing these messages, reading these messages, you start to isolate. You go, it's better not to talk to anybody. I don't need anybody's help. I don't need to reach out. And you start to cocoon yourself, again, from a place of facing discomfort, but you isolate. And an isolated man is a weak man. We need each other. We need community. We need support and other people to lift us up and call us out, and iron sharpens iron. That's essential. It's wise to seek help and counsel. It feels better in the moment to hide, to isolate, but it's not mature. It's not mature. And number 7, it's kind of a bonus, overarching, one of the most difficult messages, emotion messages to master is anger. And even as I say that, I'll bet you're feeling something. There's 2 extremes that I find with anger. People stuff it. They're so uncomfortable that they don't allow themselves at all to think about it or experience it or express it. They just stuff it. Or the opposite extreme is anger spews everywhere all the time. And both come from a fear of discomfort. I'm afraid of speaking up because what's going to happen, or I'm afraid of holding back because then I feel like I got nothing. And both of those take time to work through, because anger is like a fire. It's a powerful tool. Fire, when controlled, is a beautiful thing. It helps keep you warm, it helps keep you safe, it helps cook your food. But obviously, out of control, fire can cause horrible destruction. And how many of you men are causing destruction? Either the fire is too much, or there's no fire at all and you're not able to protect. Think about it this way. If you're on this end of the spectrum where you're too afraid of your anger, think about what happens if somebody tries to come into your house and hurt your family. If you're not able to access that anger to say, get out of here, no way, like I'm gonna kill you, then you're doing your family a disservice. But likewise, if that's no problem to you, but when your wife tries to tell you how hurt she is or how upset she is, and you respond immediately with anger, then you're doing her a disservice also. You're not providing a safe place for your family to be emotionally vulnerable. So neither one of those spectrums is good, but anger is so important and so needed. And so that is one of the key things of an emotionally mature man that boys never learn. Is be comfortable with anger. So if this was helpful, these 7 things, make sure to drop a comment, a like, and you can follow me on School for more resources.